It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Hey, guess what I just found?
What did you just found?
Gord Oxley's headshot. Look at him, he's a baby.
Wow. He's like equal parts like Matt Frewer and the actor who played Barclay on Star Trek.
So funny. How are you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, you know, surviving, living through this whole BS thing, and just like, I mean, it's a pandemic. Who thought ever up to this point we would ever deal with something like this? And how are you doing?
I have my moments, I have to say, where I think to like what the kids were doing in 1918 when this happened the last time.
Yeah.
And God damn, I'm grateful for technology and medicine and therapy.
Therapy for sure. Living in an era where, at least in our society, the idea of everybody needs therapy is pretty much accepted, and doesn't mean you have to have huge behavioral or emotional issues. It's just everybody, I think, needs therapy, and to accept that sometimes things are hard and that's okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been I mean, I'm a big foodie, as most people know, and so I'm always at home cooking. I've definitely been trying to do the breads and stuff. Have you and Leah been trying to make things during these past few months?
We have a starter that's in the fridge, sourdough starter that she is going to get to at some point. But see, she tried to do starter one time before pre-pandemic times, and it was out on the counter for the longest time until it looked really terrible, and I threw it out, not realizing that that was part of the thing. It's supposed to look like it's evil. It's supposed to look like it's going to kill you, and then you make something out of it. Don't throw it away. So I was punished. She was like, no, I'm never trying again. But now it's back there, and I've been very good about respecting that she'll get to it when she feels like creating. So we've got that. I've really turned over into cooking land myself. Been doing a lot. Just made a really good homemade lasagna the other night, and the trick is, because I'm gluten-free, because everything gluten-free is not necessarily delicious, you have to find your products and your brands that actually work. So there was a really nice non-cook lasagna that I found that was gluten-free. It was like a quinoa rice mix. That was amazing. And also I've taught myself to make like butter chicken, like a curry. From absolute scratch. And we both like stuff with a bit of heat, so we're learning to experiment with different peppers and different sauces and spices and stuff like that. So it's amazing.
That's so
I've always sort of felt at home in a kitchen, but for sure, just like I know 4 or 5 things, and so I won't cook every day. And because we've been here every day for like every meal, then you really start getting creative. And then it really turned into a thing of, well, we bought an Instant Pot, so let's look online and get some ideas here. So
amazing.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot braver with, like, I kind of have an idea what I'm doing. I kind of have an idea what not to do so you don't ruin it, you know? So that whole concept of, you know, if you're adding salty and you want salty and savory, don't put something sweet in there. That's not probably going to work. And just, your acids versus your bitter tastes and all that kind of stuff, just mixing it up.
That's awesome. Becoming a bit of a chemist, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, so far we're both alive, so
that's a win.
Yeah, nothing poisonous has been made.
I have to say, I would just did some grocery shopping before we sat down to chat here. And I'm
Yeah.
not usually like the person who buys stuff at the cash. Like I have what I need. I have my list. I get in, I
Right.
get out. This got me. I just picked this up.
Well, Baby Yoda is not, you can't even call it an impulse buy. It's a must have for sure.
3 cookies. I only get 3 cookies in this.
They really know what they're doing, right? They're like, we're going to
Oh,
overpackage this. You'll only get 3 cookies. You're going to pay, I'm going to say you paid $9.99 for that, or $11.99.
9. This was $9.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So
I'm embarrassed.
no, don't be. I think that's clear that, yeah, Baby Yoda is beautiful. He needs
It's
to be
so
embraced
cute. It is
in
so
all edible
cute.
forms. He's literally one of those little things you're going, he's so cute, I want to eat him.
I
So
know.
you're
Now
going to
I
eat him.
get to. I
Yeah.
know. I hope this comes with scissors. That would make the $9 value. I don't
Oh,
think it
no.
does.
Bring your own damn scissors. Yeah. They don't want to charge you $29.99 for this.
So ridiculous. I was
Yeah.
the reason I whipped out the Gord Oxley photos because I was going through my book of things. I've got like we've known each other since what 95 something
Earlier than that, I think
93
90, 92 or 93. Yeah.
something like that. And
Something like that.
I've got this big collection of like Toronto improv stuff from over the years because that's where I got my start back at Big City Improv back in the day. Um, that reminds me, do you remember
Mm.
Mr. Pong's truck that used to hang out in front of Big City Improv?
Yes.
Did you ever get anything off of that truck?
Yes. This was way before the whole, why does food make me feel gross era, where I was like, oh, right, I should probably avoid wheat. I would just eat all of these,
Oh
yeah,
my
these
God.
deep fried wheat bombs, whatever. It's like a whole ton of wheat
Yeah.
with a tiny piece of meat in the middle of it. And there you go. There's your thing. Or they used to have huge egg rolls.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'd love to,
Yeah.
the truck would drive literally half a block from where the store was, because Mr. Pong's, if I'm not mistaken, was just on the other side of
I
Bathurst.
think so. But that's
Yeah.
far. That's far. You should drive.
They were literally like, maybe people are too drunk to walk from the Bovine Sex Club all the way over here, so let's
Yes.
just drive to them.
Or the horizontal boogie bar, which was across the street.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one was that's where those buildings burned down, right? Where
I believe so. Yeah.
Duke's
Yeah.
Bicycle is now,
Yeah.
or
So,
was.
wow. I think you might be the only person that I know who bought stuff off of that. Because for the viewers at home who don't know, this was like an improv and a comedy club back in the 90s in downtown Toronto, and what was then a bit sketchier part of Queen Street West. And this little
Yes.
truck would just show up like 11:30 at night. And I was convinced it was a drug front.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
it probably was.
yeah, kind of any successful gross out yet delicious restaurant on that stretch had to be a drug front as well.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they were getting away with it, because at the time, I mean, it's hard enough now to get
Yeah.
a truck license to sell food. I just think they were, either skirting the law or one of the very few that were allowed to have a license for that kind of stuff.
Like Toronto is not a food truck friendly city at
No,
all. That
it's
is not a
it's a
thing here.
street dog place, and that's
Yeah.
kind of it.
Yeah.
We're still not doing great in that regard, but it's better.
That's true.
Than it was, for sure. There's certainly more choice now, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I can't wait for that to open up even more. And I think it will once
God.
this pandemic lifts. I think a ton of people will be looking to experiment with how to monetize their culinary skills and talents.
Exactly. Yeah, I think we're in the process of like we see it with shops closing and restaurants, closing their doors, but we're in the process of that landscape changing of like how we get our food, how we
Mhm.
survive in this time now. How long have you been doing the gluten-free thing? And was it because you physically weren't feling well, or you just thought
Yeah.
one day I'll switch it up?
It was a gradual thing of just not feeling well, and then there was a year I was just sick for a whole year, like just
Damn.
cold after cold, miserable. And I would just feel super gross after meals, and especially my evening meal. Like I would drag my butt out to Bad Dog or Second City or wherever I was at the time, and just literally, it was really, even though I was happy to be there and wanted to perform and wanted to improvise, I was so exhausted by 10, 11 o'clock, like to the point of I would just leave, and I was gone. I would turn into a pumpkin at midnight. I just had to go and sleep it off. And I just suddenly realized that, all this carby wheat stuff was killing me. And I thought for the longest time it was definitely a gluten allergy. I'd never felt pain. I was just always exhausted.
Yeah.
So wheat, oddly enough, I mean, I stay away from it kind of like 100%. If I get any cross-contamination, that's not a deal breaker for me.
Okay.
I'll kind of notice it right away. Like I'll get a stuffy nose. That's the first sort of telltale sign that I get.
Yeah.
And then I can, for some reason, eat sourdough.
Okay.
I can eat sourdough for a couple of days in a row before I go, okay, knock it off.
Yeah, your body's like, wait a minute.
it piles up, and it's just like, okay, there, Icarus, slow down. Yeah, maybe just salads for you today, buddy.
Yeah. So I was just gonna say, like, are you at like, I guess everything now I have to reference as pre-pandemic. Were you a big restaurant guy, or did you really keep your meals at home?
We loved. I mean, we figured out kind of like our 5 go-to places that could either deliver on their own or that weren't ridiculous charges in Uber Eats or Foodora or whatever. So like we have a Thai place that we go to. We had a Mediterranean place. We had a Pakistani place, Lahore Tikka. We would have to go pick that stuff up though. And then pizza now is easy to get, gluten-free as well, with not bad crusts, actually, not really bad. Pizza Yola. No kickback from that, but I love that place.
The unofficial sponsor of today's show.
Of me.
Pizza gets like ragged on a lot in this city as not being like the greatest pizza, but I have to give them props for their cauliflower crust. It is phenomenal. And I'm not gluten-free, but I order that other than any other pizza by them. It is so good.
I had never, I didn't even know that they had any option at this point.
They did, like, at some point in 2019, they put it on the menu and then they took it off. And I think like the outcry was like, bring it back, because it's good. It's really good.
Oh, that's amazing. Like the good thing I will say about bad pizza is sometimes you just know what you're getting. Yeah. And it's cheap and it's plentiful. So
for me, it's pizza. Like the fact that we have now said pizza more than 2 times, I will be
And then in 2010, just made a big switch and went to work for Shaw Media, that is now owned by Chorus, working for like Food Network and HGTV, among other things. So it was
Get me a show.
Get me a show?
Put this on.
I'll do that right now. I'll get us both a show. This is our show right now. This is our pilot. But I was spending all this time watching Chopped and Beat Bobby Flay and all this stuff, and then just kind of soaking up that culture and realizing, what was Chef Lynn Crawford's show? That was Pitchin' In, which was super fun. So I got to know her and then realized we live not too far from her restaurant,
Ruby Watchco,
which sadly has closed down. Isn't that gross? It's such a downer. Yeah, such a good place. I mean, it was not a go every month place, or it was maybe a go once a year place, because if you got the wine pairings for 2 people, it could easily be $300. So insane. So a Valentine's Day or a Christmas or New Year's Eve kind of a thing, but good, so amazing.
That was such such good food and such amazing service. Like everyone there was just a dream, to deal with.
And it would be the same people the next
Yeah.
year we would go. Like, so you go, these people
Yeah.
are making a good living here, which is
Yeah.
nice in anything service industry related,
Hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm.
That was a good joint. Do you think you'd be good on a show like Chopped or Beat Bobby Flay?
Believe it or not, I was on a show as a kitchen gadget guy. Uh,
Show.
yeah, the show, what the hell was the show? I'd have to go back and look at my resume. It's on there somewhere. It was a show, like we're talking 97 or 98.
Okay.
And literally it was just about home cooking and how to elevate your home cooking. And I was just the weirdo wacko gadget guy who would just be like, today we're going to talk about garlic peelers. And I had literally no experience in it, nothing. But they were like, you're an improviser, so 5 minutes before they would roll camera, they'd be like, here's this new lobster fork, this is what it does, are you ready, good, roll. And they'd do 2 takes. And I remember one day I did maybe 10 days of shooting for like the whole season. Not even 10 days of shooting, sorry, we did like all the shooting in maybe 2 days, and it was like 10 or 20 episodes. But I remember towards the end of the day, I was like, I do not think the host likes me.
Were you on Yan Can Cook?
I loved Yan Can Cook.
That was so good.
Every apron was a journey. It was good.
Oh.
All the lame jokes on his apron.
So good. That guy, and who's the other one?
Stevie
Pasquale, the Kitchen Express, the guy who would sing.
Yeah. I knew of him. I didn't, but I was absolutely in love with Stephen Yan only because he was always cracking jokes and they were so lame but beautiful. And it was always like a walk-based joke, like, walk can you do?
Exactly.
Or walk this way.
You're kind of sporting the look. The urban peasant.
Yeah, I remember that guy.
I love this guy.
What is that, 96, you said?
This was the 96 milk calendar. I still have, because I, as a kid, would watch these shows.
Yeah.
You see, like, I've got the little check marks. I would watch the show or like get the calendars, and I'd make notes, handwritten notes, because
that's amazing.
There was no iPhone back then.
It was pens, and we liked it. Yeah.
But I would do that diligently and like make notes and be like, I'm going to make this dish.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I
don't think I wasn't really motivated as a kid to really bother to cook anything. Just a couple of things. Well, cooking, literally the extent of my cooking when my mom was around, because my mom is an excellent like MacGyver cook. So it was like literally like,
love that.
We have an onion and a piece of chicken. Boom. Next minute it would be a casserole. Like, I don't know how she managed, but it was always good and filling and wonderful. With me and my brother, it was literally, if she wasn't home, it was more like, what's in the freezer? So it keeps me with my girlish figure.
Which you do have. That's what we all talk about. It's true.
Well,
Marcel's girlish figure.
What a girlish figure Marcel has.
But that's the thing, like, there is so much out there when it comes to food. And when I, in the before times when I have, a party or have family over and make things, and I always actually really love it when someone will say, oh, I've got, this restriction, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. I'm going to be a pain. I'll bring my own thing. I'm like, no. You've given me this amazing opportunity to discover how to do a dish a different way, discover something new for my repertoire. And then we can all eat the same meal and everyone can feel good. Because like when you're sharing things and you're not singling the person out with the gluten allergy or the peanut allergy.
Yeah.
Amazing feeling. There's so food out there.
I have to say my mother-in-law is amazing she's worked out so many delicious alternatives for me.
Awesome.
I have my sister-in-law, one of my sisters-in-law will not eat anything that even like if she has even heard the word gluten-free. 48 hours, she will not touch it. But it's delicious. There are so many choices now that you can do that are simple and easy. And I like it better too when I know that people can eat it. I also don't like it if people make a fuss. Like I'd rather, if I know whatever it is has panko bread on it, for instance,
Right.
I just won't have that dish, but I'll have all the other stuff too, you know?
Yeah.
So it's good. Yeah.
No, it feels good. Yeah.
You don't want to be made a fuss over, but at the same time, it's when they make a fuss and it's delicious, it's good.
Like it's all mine.
Yeah. Because that's sometimes the thing. Gluten-free on the package does not mean edible.
Oh, hell yeah.
There's a lot of experimentation.
Yes. That's one thing. Like I used to work at this bakery here in Toronto called Bunner's, a vegan, gluten-free bakery. And it would really blow my mind when people would come in and just assume because it was vegan and gluten-free and nut-free, that it was a healthy indulgence. It's not the case, folks.
No.
There's a shit ton of sugar in that stuff.
No, that's, yeah.
And,
the same
people,
with,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, people would come in saying they've got this diet or this diet, and I would explain to them, well, none of these things are fine for you. They all have what you've mentioned. And then people cave and be like, fuck it. I'll just have two.
Yeah, give me one of the death sticks. It's fine. Just call the ambulance. I've got 3 minutes for them to get me to St. Joseph's.
Like, I'm your cashier. I'm not your next of kin. You know,
You'll do. Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, sometimes. So, I mean, how bad can really their intolerance be at that point?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. Like for me, I don't automatically, expire if something on the list gets in. It's just I'll suffer for it, within a few hours or the next day, and then I've learned something.
Yeah. Speaking of multitudes of food options, do you remember? I'll see if this strikes a memory. This is from 1996. We went to quite a party for this movie.
Yes, I do remember that.
You remember this?
I do remember that. I loved that movie so much, and I'd never heard about it. And you were kind enough to invite me to the gala for it.
I have. Look
we
what
had
I have.
sliders, if I remember.
We had there was a lot of 50s like sliders and sloppy joes, but I've got the ticket right there.
Amazing. I was at the warehouse. Cool.
Yep.
I knew it was down by the lake for sure.
Yeah. I remember we were on the streetcar on our way down to like the harborfront area, and we kept missing the stop because we kept talking about the movie. And we got back on the car and we had to go back.
Because where did we see the movie? Was it at the Uptown?
The movie, I believe, did I just take the page away? I think it was the Uptown, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Yeah.
Theater that no longer exists in Toronto. That was one of my favorite places to go. That's
a sign of the times right now. It's just like it is partially because everything is changing over so quickly, but it is also the fact we've been here so long that we're now. You remember that thing?
Remember this?
That's where that thing that isn't around anymore used to be.
So good.
Yeah, it was such a good film.
It was such a great film. But yeah, that was a good like mixed buffet, and those sloppy joes. Yeah.
Did we see, was Tom Hanks there?
There was talk that Tom Hanks was there, but we didn't run into him. We did run into someone else though. I want to say like Paul Gross or some like Canadian celeb of the moment.
Well, that's not hard to do. Just walk around.
I know.
That's funny.
Yeah. But no,
I do remember a hubbub of, he might be over there, but literally it was packed with people. And I'm like, well, we're also, height challenged, vertically challenged people. So, it's why I've always loathed parades. I will not go to a parade.
What is your go-to movie snack when we could do things like go to the movies?
Popcorn and M&Ms, the peanut kind, or almond.
Ooh.
Yeah, and like both handfuls, like one hand feeds the salty popcorn, and then you throw in like 3 or 4 M&Ms right after that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Do you share your popcorn?
I do. I share
nice.
share popcorn. Well, the popcorn that they give you, even the small bags are just so huge that there's always enough. Even if you think you
There's
can eat
so
a whole
much.
small bag. That's
You
me
can feed
anyway.
the whole line. I wouldn't recommend
Seriously.
doing that now, but you could have passed that popcorn back down the line.
Yeah. Seriously, I have enough. I don't know you, but go, eat this. It's fine.
Oh gosh, that brings up another memory of being at the Uptown Theater for a movie. Do you remember when like it felt like every single improviser in the city of Toronto, we all went to go see Mars Attacks at the Uptown?
Oh yeah?
It was like this excursion about like 95 or 96.
It's
But
such a good film. Yeah.
oh God, that was so good. And the drummer for the band Our Lady Peace was sitting behind us.
Oh.
And I had a moment where I had a tap on the shoulder. I don't know who I was sitting beside, like Sam Agro or someone.
Yeah.
I can't remember who I was sitting beside. Tap on my shoulder. And I recognized the dude from the band because I like the band. And he was like, do you all fucking know each other? Like, what's going on here?
He's asking us this. Yeah. Sorry, Our Lady Peace. Are we bothering your viewing pleasure here? Yes, we are going to be making jokes for the whole thing. This is a row of improvisers. Sorry. Yeah.
So much fun.
That Uptown was amazing.
Theater.
Remember seeing The Matrix there.
Yes, I saw it there.
As well. And what else is there? The Doors. I remember seeing The Doors there. That was
I
we
saw
went back in 91, I think.
Yeah.
Good theater.
Such a good
What
theater.
is it now? Anything?
It is a Rogers. It's a Rogers store. They were going to build a condo, but there was a fire and it burnt.
That's also a very Toronto thing to say. They were going to build a condo, but it burnt. It was going to be declared a landmark, but it burnt.
That would be another good show. It burnt.
It burnt.
We could do it.
Yeah, famous stories of Toronto landmarks that are burnt. And let's also be completely annoying by not showing photographs of what it used to look like. It's literally just, you should only watch this show if you remember it or think you do. You sort of have half memories.
It's a quiz at the beginning. If you don't answer these 3 questions.
And somebody needs to say like left field stuff like, oh, was Danny Bonaducci there? I'm thinking of something else. So I don't know all the nuances of all, the religions or the history of the Wookiee planet or anything like that. But
me neither. No.
I do know that I have tried multiple times to watch the Star Wars holiday special. And I can't get through it all in one sitting.
I've seen it once. And my friend, you know him too, Bryce Hallett.
Bryce,
Bryce has it on VHS, and we watched it once, and he's got the copy with the original commercials.
That's amazing.
And seeing ads for like, whatever baseball player for like this candy bar or this kind of thing, that was like my favorite part of it. It's one of the worst things I've heard they're going to remake it.
Well, there's a Lego Star Wars holiday special coming out this year, and I don't know if that means. Arthur. I was saying that to myself. I'm going, is this just because the Lego brand has a whole series of Star Wars tie-in specials and TV series?
Yeah.
So are they just remaking their own holiday special, new script, new whatever? Or is it a shot-for-shot remake in Lego of the original horrible special, which is what I really want it to be? And I want that B. Arthur Star Wars character Lego.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
There was one of the recent releases of a Star Wars movie that I went to go see. I can't think of which one, but I went to an afternoon screening, and I was there with there was a family, I guess, had like a little party for their kids or something. They were in the front rows in front of me. And there was one scene where they were making some kind of dish, some kind of meal, and they were putting the ball of dough together. And the little girl in front of me said to her mom, "Mom, are they making matzah?"
That's right. Wookiees are Jewish. Reveal. Big reveal.
How's the book life coming along for you?
Booklight. Well, I still have the first 2 books that are still always on sale.
This
Actually,
is one of them, friends.
that's the first book. That one you can only get on Amazon at the moment. I do have copies of my second book. You can get that on Amazon, and I have those for sale, a limited number. If you find me on social media, I can drop it off or mail it to you.
Nice.
And I'll take PayPal or e-transfer or even
And maybe
secure
he'll
credit
sign
card
it.
transaction.
Maybe
I
he'll-
signed it too.
Yeah, you did. So nice.
I'm amazing.
You are amazing.
I'm a good guy when you buy my book in person. And I'm writing another book, which I was hoping would be published this year, but it's on hiatus. Everything got kind of crazy and real, and other projects and stuff like that took to the forefront. So maybe next year we will see.
For sure. Do you get kind of snacky when you're writing? Do you have like some M&Ms for you, or you?
I am an equal opportunity savory snack guy. Chips, nuts, like salty sweet is also a super good combination. Like I said, the popcorn and the M&Ms. There's like a chocolate caramel peanut corn thing that we'll buy once in a while, but it's like crack in this house. Like it never lasts. So I really don't allow myself. We live not too far from a Soma chocolatier as well. So
It's one of my favorite places in Toronto. Oh my God, their Mayan hot chocolate.
Yes.
So good.
I'll go maybe twice a year and just buy all their little bottles of stuff. So we'll have like the chocolate covered dried fruit and some of the almonds and stuff like this. And their flourless chocolate cake is amazing as well too.
It truly is.
So I started off by saying I only like salty stuff, unless of course it's sweet. And if it's salty and sweet, but generally, for sure, the normal stuff.
Yeah. No, that's so good. Well, thank you so much for joining me today for a good food and comedy chat.
Food, comedy. Do you remember when? Those things. It's amazing. It's amazing.
And and we had Gord Oxley stopping.
And we had Gord Oxley. That's a win. That's an absolute win.
It'll be fine.